Vegan or vegetarian? Which diet is the right one for you? Hi, I'm Bailee, aka the Vegetarian Guide, and in this video we're going to be talking about the differences between a vegan and a vegetarian diet and helping you decide which one is the best fit for your lifestyle. Let's get started. So if you've been considering starting a plant-based diet, you might be a little bit overwhelmed trying to decide which diet is the right for you, vegetarianism or veganism. And I totally get that. There's a big hype right now around veganism, but is that going a little too extreme? Is going vegetarian enough? I get that you have these questions, and that's what we're going to answer in this video. And we're going to start by looking at a couple of different factors that you need to consider in making your choice. We're going to start with looking at animal welfare, then the environment, your health, and lifestyle aspects. Those are important things to consider when making this decision. Let's start with some definitions. First, we'll talk about a vegetarian, which is someone who chooses not to eat any meat, including beef, poultry, pork, seafood. However, a vegetarian usually does still consume eggs and dairy, for example. Most vegetarians choose this lifestyle because they want to make a positive impact on the environment, they want to do something good for their health, or they want to eliminate animal suffering. A vegan, on the other hand, is someone who doesn't eat any animal products. So that means no meat, no dairy, no eggs, but also no products like honey or gelatin that can also be derived from animals. Most of the time, a vegan lifestyle goes beyond just the diet piece of it, and it also includes not wearing products like leather or using makeup that's been tested on animals. Anything having to do with animals, a vegan usually avoids. And most of the time, a vegan chooses this lifestyle for the same reasons that a vegetarian does. They want to make a positive impact on the environment, they want to improve their health, and they really want to make a difference for animals. So let's dive into the animal welfare piece of the puzzle. A vegetarian usually chooses to do this because they want to help animals by not killing them to put them on their plate, which is great. However, there are still some things in the animal agricultural industry that a vegetarian might not impact so much. For example, in the egg industry, there's a lot of suffering with baby chicks, especially the male baby chicks that are killed because they won't be able to produce eggs. There's also in the dairy industry that the mama cows, they suffer a lot because they're separated from their babies. They're being constantly impregnated. They're being milked every day. Not the best systems in the world. However, if you choose a vegan lifestyle, you're eliminating all of this completely. It makes a very, very significant impact when you choose to do a vegan lifestyle on animal welfare, where a vegetarian makes a great significant impact. It's just not quite at the same level that a vegan diet does. Let's dive into the environmental impacts that our diets have. It's estimated that animal agriculture contributes about 15% of the greenhouse gases in our environment, which is more than the transportation industry. So it's really got a significant piece of the climate change puzzle to play. That's not even talking about all of the forests and land that has to be changed to make room for pastures for cattle, all of the runoff with waste that's getting into our water systems. There's a lot of icky stuff that goes on with animal agriculture. It's estimated that a vegetarian, by eliminating meat out of their diet, reduces their environmental impact by about 50%. So just by cutting meat out of your diet, you're eliminating about half of your impact on the environment. That gets even bigger when you look at a vegan diet. It's estimated that by going vegan, you eliminate about 75% of your environmental impact. That's huge. And it's definitely something to consider when you're picking which diet is best for you. How much are you willing to contribute? Obviously, each diet makes a really great significant contribution, but a vegan diet, again, takes it just a little bit further. Now let's talk about health, and this is where things start to get a little bit more controversial. Everything nutrition-based is a little bit hard to decipher. There's nothing out there that says this is the best diet for our health. You'll find mixed studies saying this, saying that. Everything contradicts each other, and we just don't have enough data to conclude that a vegetarian diet is best, or that a vegan diet is best, or that any other diet is best. We kind of just know that there's great things about it, and there's some things that we need to be aware of. So for both a vegetarian and a vegan diet, you significantly reduce your risk of heart disease, diabetes, obesity, colorectal cancer by not eating so much meat. You also consume a lot more fiber, which is great for your digestion. You consume a lot more antioxidants, which prevents disease. So there's a lot of great things for both of these diets. Now, just as it was with the environment and with animal welfare, the vegan tends to take this a little bit further. You reduce your risk of cancer and heart disease and all those things even more. For example, a vegetarian still eats eggs, which still has some cholesterol, which contributes to heart factors. A vegan's not eating any of that, so they have virtually no cholesterol that they have to be worrying about. The same with vegetarians who are eating some dairy products. There's some saturated fat in those, which also contribute to some heart things, whereas vegans are not getting much of that at all. So again, great benefits for both. The vegan diet does take that piece even a little bit further. However, there are some things to be considered when we're looking at this. Vegans have a little bit harder time getting all of the nutrition that they need. For example, protein, which always comes up when you're talking about a vegan or a vegetarian diet. is more difficult to get on a vegan diet because there's protein in eggs and dairy, for example, that vegetarians are getting. That's not to say that you can't get enough protein on a vegan diet. You absolutely can. You just have to be a little bit more conscious about how you're doing that. The same goes with some other nutrients. B12, for example, is only found in animal products, and a vegan would have to supplement that, whereas a vegetarian might be getting some of it from dairy and eggs, but supplementing is also probably a good idea. There's just a few things that you need to be aware of. There's some nutrients, there's some other things that a vegan diet has to be very, very careful about getting in their diet, whereas a vegetarian doesn't have to as much, which is actually a great segue into our next section, which is about lifestyle. Lifestyle is something that has to absolutely be considered when you're making this decision, because eating is not just fueling your body. It's not just for survival. It's also something that we get comfort from, that we enjoy, that we share with our friends and family, that we have traditions around. Those are not things that we should be taking lightly. So going vegetarian tends to be a much more flexible choice when it comes to the lifestyle piece. You have a lot of those comforting foods like cheese and eggs that you can still keep in your diet. It's a lot easier to go out to eat. It's a lot easier to go to a friend's house if they're preparing food for you, for them to prepare something vegetarian as opposed to vegan. You also don't have to read labels on anything. It's pretty clear to see if a product has meat in it versus if it's got other animal-derived products in it. And for that aspect of it, it's something to consider when you're looking at whether you want to go vegetarian or going vegan. That's absolutely not to say that you can't enjoy a vegan diet. Of course you can. It just might take a little bit longer to transition into that, and you have to put a little bit more effort and diligence into your diet when it comes to veganism. Now, as a longtime vegetarian, I have to admit that this is the reason why I decided to hang out in vegetarian land. I really enjoy the ease of lifestyle that comes with it. I feel like I'm making enough of an impact on the environment and on my health and on animal welfare that I can justify enjoying this ease of lifestyle that comes with a vegetarian diet as opposed to a vegan diet. That might not be the same for everybody, and please be aware that if you do choose that, there's going to be some vegans out there that are not going to always respect that decision, which is okay. It's just something that you have to be okay with when you choose to go vegetarian instead of going vegan, that there might be some shaming from that side of things, and it's just a personal choice. You have to do what's best for you. So regardless of which diet you're thinking is the best choice for you right now, I highly encourage you to start with a vegetarian diet and then assess from there. Going from eating meat to a vegetarian diet is a big step. Going from eating meat to a vegan diet is a huge step. And it's something that you should not take lightly, not something that you should try to do overnight. If you really want to sustain any plant-based diet long term, the best thing to do is to ease into it. Start by cutting out meat slowly, starting by cutting out eggs, dairy slowly. Do it over a period of time so your body has time to adapt, so you have time to form habits, so you have time to learn recipes. You have to give yourself a little bit of wiggle room to move into this new lifestyle. Again, that's why I encourage you to start with vegetarianism first. Take that first big step, wait till it becomes second nature, and then from there you can decide if you want to further cut eggs, dairy, animal products, and move into a full vegan lifestyle. This is something that I can help you with here at the Vegetarian Guide. I would suggest that you start by grabbing my free Secrets to Vegetarian Success ebook. This works whether you want to go vegetarian or you want to go vegan. These are the steps that you need to build those habits that are going to help you stick to a plant-based diet long term. So there you have it. Now we've discussed the differences between a vegan and a vegetarian diet. I hope that you've gotten a lot of information that will help you make a really great choice about which plant-based diet is right for you. I'd love to know which one you're leaning towards. Please let me know in the comments if you're thinking a vegetarian or a vegan diet is the best fit. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, cheers to your veg adventure.